Hello world, how are you all doing? I hope you're all doing great. Welcome to another live stream with me here, and you can see that I'm just starting the simulator. So last week we worked on this new screen in our app, and because I'm a bit too late today, I'm also going to do a bit shorter today. And that's why I'm going to skip the whole news section that I typically do at the start of the video. Instead, we're going to jump right into development to just continue where we left off last time. And just to recap quickly where we were last time. So let's go into the screen where we wanted to see of our focus timer here. And welcome everyone to the stream, by the way. I hope you're all doing great. In this page here, on the main page, we implemented this history view where we are grouping the different timer sessions by day. I believe it was just by day, and then we basically just show some information here and if it's currently running or not. And this seems to work just as expected. And we did write some things here about what we wanted to do next. And I can actually copy these because as always, we're going to create a summary document, which I'm linking, by the way, on below each YouTube video. So if you're watching this video, you should find the summary of this session, like the end version of it, that I'm just going to create linked in there, so you can quickly see like what we're doing during this session here. In case you're searching for a specific topic, for example, you might be able to find it faster that way. All right, this is the new one for today. This is open focus timer part 31. And these are next steps that we had written down last time. So let's go quickly through these things. Make sure that running timers are shown in history as well. So when we have a running timer right now, and for some reason it doesn't show here. So that's one thing. Start implementing the statistics screen in main window, which would be this screen here. And I'm hearing a voice from there. Oh, let me fix it quickly, just a sec. All right. There was a small background noise there. And start implementing the statistics screen. That will be this screen here where we want to use SwiftUI charts library. Set a proper focus topic, etc., etc. I think we should just start with fixing this issue. So the question is, why are we not seeing that data here? And I think we also had the placeholder thing here. Set a proper focus topic. Yeah, that's the placeholder topic thing. And we don't want to actually set something here. So there are a few things that we might do here. Like when we, let's continue this. This should end, and I say okay. When we click start, when starting a timer, we just select the task type and project. But we're not being asked for a topic for this current session, which we want to change. And also I want to change 5 seconds, which is like not enough time to fill out. I guess it should be seconds 5. There you go. We have this thing, and then we have some constant here. So in a production build, it's going to be by default 25 minutes, which is the Pomodoro timer. And we can make this adjustable later as well. I'm just going to change it to 25 seconds. So in our test, we don't have to wait too long, but we have some time to type things and things like that. Let me rerun this. So you can see the build here. All right. Now let me continue this. So it ended. Now you can see it's 25 seconds, and now we have more time to do things here, like select the task type as design, the project is side project 1, and I can close that. And also, now that I have selected those two, let me also pause and continue. And the thing is, I'm not seeing them here. Oh, I am seeing it. Okay, so it is showing up. But weird things are going on because it's being updated, I guess. Okay, now it's finished. And when I come here now, it looks like it's not finished, or there's a one unfinished. Just design and side project 1. This is the one we just started, right? But it should be finished by now. Okay, it's here, and it seems to jump around a bit here. But now it's there. All right, there's like a, I think a syncing issue, which is not that big of a deal. So we don't have to fix details like this right from the start, because we want to focus on the core features first. So the core things basically work, so we can step by step go forward and complete things step by step. I don't like to, like, maybe I can explain with an article that I actually wrote about how I prioritize things. We can now go to my new website, which is flying.dev, and in my indie blog you can find this laser focused priority strategy. And I'm not going to go through this in detail, just go to flying.dev to find the article. But very shortly speaking, we have these different levels. Let me just show it here. We have vital, essential, completing. These three are the most relevant ones. Those two are the ones that you basically should skip for a release, at least for the first release. And this is how we want to continue. We want to start with what's really vital for the app, what's really needed so the app can live at all, basically. And then the essential features, like everything that's really needed, but it's not vital. It's like, it could work kinda without it, but it's definitely needed. Like you can see here, vital is absolute minimum needed for the first round of testing, but it can be ugly. And that's exactly what we're doing first. And then we can go to essential, which is like the core aspects required for basic functionality. This can still have rough edges, and I think that this feature here, where the currently running one is not immediately updated kind of thing, this is more like a rough edge. So we are already kind of on the essential level here, at least for this specific topic here. But we are focusing really on vital, and then essential, and then completing, ironing out rough edges and completing aspects of functionality. This is exactly what I would say is the last step we should always try to put at the end before release, and we should try to get things working first. Ahoy, Jihad, long time no see. Big Batson, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Like a car without brakes. Motor is vital so it can drive. Brakes are essential but not needed to get from A to B. You could say that, yeah. I would probably put brakes still into absolutely vital, because you could probably die if you don't have any brakes. But I get your point. Yeah, you could also see like that. Of course, these are like trying to help you prioritize, but of course you can still like think that different things go into different areas here. The cool thing about this priority strategy is, and I'm explaining it here more in detail. Let me show you here. At the end, you're going to have not only one level, like here. In my example, I have these five features. Basically, these are 5 features. I'm rating them, saying like this is vital, this is vital. And by the way, this is also start-stop timer, so kind of related. Instead, for each point, you also can define subtasks, and even for these subtasks, if you wanted, you could define subtasks for them, and then you rate the subtasks as well. So you have like 2-dimensional rating. You have like the feature level, you have the task level. And this is exactly what this is for. So in the end, you rate everything, and then the feature level goes here, and then the task level goes here, and you can even prioritize on a subtask level by considering both the feature level rating and the subtask level rating, just by putting things here. For example, when there's a subtask of feature A, which is placed here, it means that the feature was rated as essential, and the task inside the feature was rated vital for the feature. So for the feature, that task is absolutely vital, and that way you can like even prioritize subtasks, and just going from here, going this level next, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and after completing these, you can release. That's basically how this is supposed to be used. And just wanted to put this out there. But obviously we're going to be doing some programming. But Big Batson, how's the weather over there? Don't you think it's really hot? It's really, I'm really sweating right now. We have 29 degrees Celsius right now in my room, so I'm really sweating here. I don't know, what about you? And how's the streams going? Are you streaming? Are you planning to stream again? I'm not getting any messages from you. Like Big Batson going live, something like that. But maybe it's just my notifications, I don't know. Anyway, so that's exactly what we wanted to check. So actually it appears to work. So make that the current running timer shows in history. It does seem to show there. So I'm just going to delete this. And we don't have to do anything there. It seems to be working. So we can actually continue with start implementing the statistics screen in main window. So we have a history screen here, just a list of the timers. Instead, we want to go into the statistics screen and yeah, put some nice Swift charts in here. All right, to get started here, we could either just start by putting in some statistics, or we could start thinking about what kind of statistics do we actually need. So there's two things here. First, I want to learn about the Swift charts library. So there's a learning part. So we need to play around a little bit. And the second part is, of course, finding what makes sense for this specific app. Yeah, let's think about both at the same time. So we are going to try out and play around with Swift charts, but let's think first about what the first chart is that we will definitely be interested in. All right, so the whole idea of this app, just to go back to the idea of the app. The whole idea, or the whole motivation was that I wanted to track the time of my indie life. So when I'm doing indie work as an indie developer, I wanted to know like what am I using my time for? And one of those things obviously is the categories, which we have, which in our case, as you can see, I think in the statistics you can see them, is we have a task type, which can be, for example, code review, design, paperwork, programming, research. These are the kinds of things that I think I will do. And then there are projects. And I think what makes sense is I want to have like an overview of which of these I use the most time in. I think that's the first chart that I would like to know, like how much percentage of my time is put on code reviews, how much percentage on design, etc., etc. And likewise, I think I want to also have the same for projects. So I want to know how much percentage of my time are put on these projects. And I think those two are the first charts that we might want to see. And I'm already thinking about a pie chart for them, because like seeing like the percentage, I think makes sense with a pie chart, and I hope that we can design one. Big Batson, currently not streaming. I think last time was in March. Not feeling it currently, to be honest. But I will try to start up soon again. Latest with Pokemon Scarlet Violet. That's right, Scarlet and Violet are around the corner, right? I think they're in December. Is there a date already? Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. August 21st, no, it's not that early. Was it? November, yeah, November 18, I see. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. I will definitely be playing, and that's also probably where you're going to streaming. I'm probably not going to be streaming that, but I'm going to play. Oh, Joe, how many Joes are there? Joe, 6 times. Jojo, hey, hi, how are you doing? How's your day going? All right, so that's what we're going to tackle now, creating charts here. And we have the amazing new Swift charts library, so let's play around with that. I think we already have like a statistics view, right? There we go, a statistics feature with a view inside, and let's select that, and I hope the previews are going to work. If not, it's probably worth fixing them. Well, let me check. So it's building. So far so good, just woke up. Oh yeah, so you're in an American time zone, I'm guessing then? What's your plan for today? Work? What else? And if it's work, like what kind of challenge do you have to work on today? Big Batson, do you already have a preference for which starter Pokemon you want to choose? Let me open that side again. I don't know why I closed it. So we will have these 3 starters. Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quoxley. Interesting names. But they're always creative with them, right? Which one do you prefer? Oh, poster board quit unexpectedly. We had this last time as well. going to send the report. But the good news is the preview seems to work. Although this thing is quite annoying. Come on. You'll go away at some point. Let me just reopen. Alright, what can I do about that? Click reopen to open the application. Get this report will send automatically. Post the board quit unexpectedly. Post the board quit unexpectedly. Xcode 14 beta. I think we're on beta 6 already, right? Yeah, beta 6. Crashing post. Yeah, this is already known. No work. I'm driving down to Southern California for a wedding. Oh, nice. So you're attending a wedding today. Whose wedding is it? Is it someone from your family? Some friend? And how big of a wedding is it? I don't know. My wedding was quite big, so not that I wanted it to be that big, but it's just how it works culturally. Beta 3 is fine. Only beta 4. Okay. It's happening to me too. Okay, but I want to have a workaround. Maybe there's someone who found a workaround. I hope we're not going to have... Oh, it's looking like we are having some frame drops here. I hope you can see and hear everything nicely in the stream. I had this last time as well. I don't know what's it in the background that's ticking now. I think it's the beta. I guess it's the beta. Maybe it's the simulator. Let me actually check. Wedding tomorrow and a friend. It should be huge. Lol, my friend is Greek. Oh yeah, then it's exactly the same as... Like my cultural background is Turkish, so I'm imagining it's exactly the same size like Turkish weddings, and there's a lot of dance and things like that. So it's gonna be fun though. It's gonna be fun. Alright, so... Okay, oh, that's obvious. 2 processes there. It might be OBS at the end. I should maybe try updating it. Anyways, let's find a fix for this issue. This is just a collections crashing. Oh, it's the SDK. Let me check that. So we want to run iPhone 13. But with an older SDK, how can we choose that here? Or do I need to change the target SDK? Is that what they mean? So if I change that to 15 point, but then we can't use Swift charts. Alright, anyways, I'll just close the simulator here. Maybe it will help. Okay. The preview is working, and just to prove that it's working, let's change one text. Yeah, it's changing as I want. Cool, then let's import Swift charts. Import Swift, I think it's just called Swift charts. Is it just charts? Yeah, it's just charts. Import charts, and then let's just try to create a bar chart. And I wonder if it's just called bar chart. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, it's a little bit more than that, but let's just read it up. Swift charts. So this is the first time I'm professionally using it. And okay, we're creating a chart like this. And creating a chart using Swift chart. Let's just have a look at an example here. Okay, we need some type, some data. Obviously, and then we have this chart, and we can create like marks in there. And I believe there were some different marks. Bar mark, all right. But we want to use a pie chart. Is there a pie chart even? Swift charts pie chart. Pie chart view. Is it possible that there is no pie chart? Sounds like, if I remember correctly, there is actually no pie chart. So we have areas, lines, points, rectangle, rule, and bar. That's too bad. But anyways, let's then at least create a bar chart here. So we're creating a bar mark. Or was it not just for each? I think that's also how it's explained in the example. You have a chart, and then you can either create free values yourself, or just use for each with data. All right, let's do that. So we have our for each, and then we will have some data put in there. Let's just use let's actually try to get real data in. I'll just add so let's start with the categories. Categories time sets or something like that. I don't know. Let's just create things in here, and then we can extract it later. So I'm just going to create a struct. I'll call it how should we call it? Categories stats, something like that. And then category stat, just category stat, and then we just say category, whichever category it is, and then time tracked, total time tracked, something like that. Let's use time interval here. And maybe the time scale, like how much we're going backwards, like the last 30 days or something like that. Maybe something like that. Let's not do that. Let's just keep it simple. Let's just like this. This is category stat, and then we can do the same for the project stat. But I'm not sure if that's going to work, because if we look into our model, we actually only have categories and then category groups. The category group is something like project or category. I think that was type, yeah, project and type are what we have in our database, but another user might have some different things in there. And let's catch that Pokemon. So other people might have different things in theirs, and therefore it doesn't make sense to have a category stat. Category stat can make sense. All right, this kind of makes sense. All right, let's just keep a category stat, and I can have category stats by group, and I have like category group, and each has an area of category stats. Category stats by group, something like that. And then we can just for now we just create explicit data. We just say like, okay, we have although we might just request some data here from the database. Okay, so do you happen to have any experience using OAuth2? I'm trying to use it, but it's stumping me. I do have some experience. I have integrated OAuth2. I have also implemented it, but before Apple had an easier way to do it. So what's exactly the problem? Are you not understanding the concept, or is it with something in Swift specifically? Swift OAuth2. I think there is a new type that I haven't used yet. And there's even a tutorial here. Let me check if this is on a new type. And that new type makes it much easier. It's something authentication something. Apple developer authentication. Two-factor, I'm not sure if that's the right thing. It doesn't look like it, no. Authentication services might be it. Oh, that signer with Apple though. Yeah, I would just follow a something like this OAuth 2 with Swift tutorial. I'm having trouble just implementing it. I see. Yeah, no, I don't have detailed knowledge about that. I actually always implemented my own authentication logic, and I never used OAuth 2 myself. So I can't really help there, but I'm sure there's a lot of tutorials online, and I hope that they can help you. If you have a more specific problem that's not specifically about OAuth, but more like, I don't know, maybe you have a type matching problem or something like that, feel free to post a gist, GitHub gist, and then I can have a look at it here live. But it looks like we have to import some stuff. Category group lies in the model. Let's see if we are importing model in statistics feature, and we are not, so let's do that. And let's import model here. Right, that should be fixed. Gotcha, no problem. Yeah, I'm not aware of everything. I can't know everything, and OAuth 2 I just happen to never have used it in iOS development. So I can't really help there. Statistics feature state does not conform to Pro. I just know that the friend told me that there is some API that makes it much easier and that takes care of a lot of things. And yeah, I just couldn't find it, so I hope maybe you can find it. Category is ambiguous. Oh yeah, I think we need to say model.category just to be more correct. Yeah, we're not trying to create an empty. Let's just actually create nothing here. Does not conform to equatable, because one of these is not equatable. I'm guessing this needs to be specified to be equatable. And now we just have to say self.category stats by group, and then we need to get the data from the database. If I do, I'll let you know. Yeah, sure, thank you. I really don't remember it. Two-factor authentication, iOS new class, something like that. I don't know. Maybe Google finds it. Apple developer Swift. No, that's not it. Oh yeah, I think, no, that's not it. No, that was not it. I think it was somewhere in the networking layer. Anyway, maybe you're using it anyways already. I don't know. Okay, I want to get some data from the database here, so we need to access the database, but we are in a state here and not in the reducer or the action handler, so maybe we want to assign here just an empty thing first, and then instead of doing something in the initializer, we could just say something like when this view store is has appeared, we're just going to say something like view store dot send, and then we're sending the action on appear. And obviously we need to add an action on appear and implement a function on appear. Now we can implement it in a second, but let me connect it to the reducer. Alright, now we can implement here the logic for like calculating the contents of it. And now we should be able to find here, because now we have this here. we should be able to say here in the view that our data in this case is probably going to be, we're walking through each, I think we will have 2 charts. So I'll just go and create maybe a scroll view first. Inside the scroll view, we'll have a for each where we go through the view store category stats by group keys. So the key is a category group, right? So we will have a category group here. Well, let's just call it group. And for each group, we want to create a chart. So let's just move it in, and the padding, let's just keep it on the scroll view low. Maybe you should say on the chart. All right, so on up here, this will load some logic here, and this is a to-do. Not yet implemented. Return none, so it builds. Let's close this off here as well. And this is now the groups that we're going to walk through, and then for each group we want to create one chart which shows for that group the data. So we can now go into view store, the category stats by group, and then go into the specific group. And now we should get a list of categories. So each of them is a category. And for each category we want to create a bar mark. And I don't really know how this works, so let's look it up in their example. So we can provide an X value and a Y value. Okay, let's keep it as simple as this. Let's just go with X and Y values. So the X value, I think that's Are we going to have that go up by date or something? I just want to know the entire thing, right? Okay, let me go back to the state. Our data, that's a category stat, that's not a category. So we are here in a category stat, that's just to correct it. And the category stat has a category and a total time tracked. So the x-axis, I would say, is just a category. Oh, well, we need to say value, and now maybe we say something like category.name. Chart's bin range, and then we need to provide a value there. Shape.type. I don't know what to put here. I'll just put category stats. Sorry for that. Category stats dot category dot name. No idea what this is for, so I'll just use the same thing here as well. And let's make this more readable. Now we have Y start and end. I just want to have a Y, no Y start and end. Like this. And no width either. So let's go to value, and then need to give it a name, total count, total time, category stat dot total, what was it called? Total time tracked. Total time tracked. Maybe we can actually go here and say category name. Is that correct? Not entirely sure. I'm able to infer type of closure parameter. Generic struct confirmed to random access collection. Okay, let's put them into an array. Let's sort it. Just to be sure it's always in the same order. Sorted requires a dictionary confirmed to comparable. The keys. Let's not go with array, let's just go with sorted only. Should be an array anyways. It's not dynamic member category stats by group. Did I mistype? Category stats by group, I don't think so. Statistics features. view store. Let me go for state. Does that help? Tuple has no member. Tuple? Why tuple? View store. Cannot convert value of type, feature, action. Feature type, statistics, feature, action. Why does it think it's a tuple type? That's weird. But we're going to just comment things out and just go step by step. So does it work with a scroll view? Yeah, it does. Let's just comment in the for each. Does this work? No, this is where things are breaking. So let me try with auto completion state. I can actually access that, and then I can access the keys. Oh, okay, so it doesn't know how to sort. That's the problem. Sort it. So that's a category group. I will just sort by name. But maybe we can just make it easier by going. I will just extend category group here and make it comparable, so it knows how to sort itself. And I believe we just need to implement the function smaller left hand side, or I like to call it left, and right. And left is smaller than right if the name is smaller than the name of the right. Does this compile? Okay, I need to import model. Does it compile now? Must be declared public, of course, no problem. And cannot be done on optional string operands. All right. So I need to handle that's why I don't like core data. This is again, why is this field optional? Yeah, but we're just going to say left and right. Case if both are non-null. Then we can do this logic here. In all other cases, I'll just return false. I don't really care about any other cases. Some let is missing. Must be static. Public static func, of course. Come on. My fault. You don't need these then. Now that part is building and has no member sorts. Sorted. It should be available now. Let's just check. Alright, I'm confident that it's now available, so let's just build. Alright, this builds now, and let's now try to get the whole VM, the whole code back. And it's not building because for each requires that category starts confirmed to identifiable. So let's confirm it to identifiable. And the ID is, I would say, the ID of the category. So the category.id, is it identifiable? Category extension. Yes, it's identifiable. And I just use the name. All right, that's fine. Yeah, we must be unwrap because it's an optional array. So I'm saying that, and here in this case, because we are walking through the keys and we have found that there is an entry for group, I can expect this to have a value. So I'll just force unwrap here. It's not 100% safe because always timing is involved, and if this is in a thread and things like that. But for the sake of this is good enough. And for the name, I'm just going to fall back to question marks if there is no name. All right, this is building. Let's see what the preview is looking like. I don't have any data here, so I'm not expecting to see anything. But we should see empty charts. Okay, we're not seeing anything because obviously this is empty. So let's implement an empty state. How can we implement an empty state? I'm not sure if we need one. We will always have category group. Let's actually create some category groups here. So do we have like mocked data? Mocked on core data or something? Database seed. This seeds some data. Oh yeah, that's nice. So we just want to mock the managed object context. Initialize and then can we say width? And then we just say just want to add some data to the category ID stats etc. Computer property equals, and then we just say like category group. Can we initialize one? Why is auto completion not working? Come on. Maybe we can mock it. Mocked. And then just create mocked objects. I have no idea if this will be able to type check. Well, let's try. Nope, doesn't build. So this is feature category. Oh yeah, category stat doesn't have a mocked, so we want to add that maybe. Let's go back to our state. And in the fdebug we can say extension statistics feature state dot category stat. I'll just write static var mocked self. So let's just create some mock data, and for that I would just initialize one with a category which is mocked, and the random time interval, random number. Can I get a random number? Random int random below. There we go. We're creating an integer random below. I don't know. Let's go with hours. Hours, yeah. So up to. Let's go by minutes. We go. Oh, let's go by hours. Okay, up to, I don't know, 100 hours. And we're getting a random value below 100. And that we use as the second, the hours. Hours, and this we need to turn into a double. Can we get a random below double? Random below? No. This is a bit of type jungling here, but this should work. So this is closing the int, this is closing the double, this is closing the hours, this is closing the init. All right. Does it build? Not really. Total time tracked is missing, of course. Type category. All right. Okay. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Quick break, getting some fresh air and stretching as always. Yeah, see you right then. Alright, I'm back, and we were just stuck with this line here, and it seems to not be compiling because category has no member mocked. Looks like we have not created a mocked for the category. Or have we? Category extension? Yeah, I can't see a mock here. How do we do it when we want to see some data in the preview, like in the timer or something like that, or the category chooser, category selector? How do we do it there? Initial state, so the entire state is mocked, I see. And then in the state, do we have like some mock data? We have a mocked focus timer, and okay, we're mocking the entire context. So we do pass the context into this the state, and we're fetching the data from here. All right, let's just do it the same way. I guess this is the easiest way to do it. Then we don't also need unappear. So let's just go back and do it the same way as we did before. We're going to pass the context here, which is an NS managed object context, and we can get rid of the unappear. Let's actually just revert this. Same here, no logic needed in here. In the view, we can remove the unappear here as well. Instead, in the state, we're going to just say self.category stats by group equals, and then instead of instantiating it here, we will assign actual data. For that, we need to do some fetch requests, and for that, we need to import obviously core data. And let me just go back to this place where we are doing a fetch with a do catch call. Let's just do it very similarly here. So category groups, let's just go with let. These are the category groups, and we're just fetching all of them. And then we're walking through all the category groups. For group in category groups. And we could just say self.category stats by group. We could add an empty implementation there. Like empty array, and then we can add to this array, dictionary I mean. And we could say self.category stats by group, and for the group that we're currently in, we're just going to assign, now we need to fetch off obviously the categories of that group, and I believe we have access to it directly from the category group. So let me try and say categories, which is a set, but we can also get the typed categories, and then we can sort them, and there's no implementation for their sorting, so I'll just go and say extension category. Let's just do model.category and make that comparable so we can sort it. And in this case, we're going to have static func smaller left self right self, and we're just going to return where the left name is smaller than the right name. And we're again having this problem with optionals, so I'm just going to go with this kind of implementation here, because if it's nil, I just don't care about where it's placed, and we need to make that explicit as well, the types, and that should help. Now we should be able to say sort it. All right, this should be the basic implementation here. When app started, this crash report error occurred while reading category groups. Yeah, kind of makes sense. Cannot assign a value of type category to type category stat. Ah, we need the category stats. So that's a bit more complicated. All right, we have the different groups. Let's just walk through the groups. Let's sort them anyway. So these are the categories. Categories in group. Just comment this out for now. Okay, we want to create a stat. Category stat, and this requires the category, which we have. If we walk through it, so for category, in categories in group. So we have the category here, we can just pass it along, but we don't have the total time tracked, and that's what we need to fetch. And this is basically what we'll store and self the categories by group equals, but this needs to be an array, so we'll just say, or this is the category stats, category stat, empty array. This is where we store category stats, and here we just append to that category stats. Append this new element, and the type is now clear, so we can just say init. All right, now we need to do some logic to get and calculate the total time tracked. Let's have a look at our database again. It's the shared model. So we have the category which has focus timers. So, or we could fetch all focus timers of this category. And we have running duration in seconds. Yeah, I think that's what we need. So we're going to fetch pass 0 here. Context fetch. This time we're fetching the focus timer dot fetch request. Let's just do fetch request equals this, and then fetch request. We wanna add a predicate. How do we add a predicate? Can we just assign? Looks like ns predicate. All right, and then the predicate, I want it to be like category equals category. Does that work? I'm not 100% sure. Well, we can try. Let me just Google ns fetch request predicate relation example. There's an ns predicate, format message equals, I fixed the bug in Swift. %add. That's when I pass a text. Okay, what if I pass an object? Contains, begins with, not. I believe it's %add even here. All right, so this is our predicate. It only fetches the focus timers that are in that category. Alternatively, we could also just go through the category and just say focus timers. Do we have typed? No. Why don't we have typed? Category extension. I don't know, but I think this other way should definitely work. I should be able to fetch by this, and then we can just say try context fetch, send this fetch request, and the result should be the focus timers of category. And the total time tracked should then be focus timers of category. Well, let's actually calculate it in an extra line. This is the total time tracked focus timers of category, and then we're reducing to a 0. And then we have a small algorithm here where we're putting onto the 0, which is 0 at the beginning, we're adding what we find in the current values, running duration in seconds, or just running duration actually here from the start. So we have a time interval. Just to be sure, also this type. Now we should be able to pass that. Track the. Oops. See if that's building. It's not building because I need to say reduce into. There we go. In theory, this should be the logic, but in practice, always something goes wrong. So let's just run this and see what comes out of this. But we have some more issues here. Type category has no member mocked. We no longer need this, I believe. What else? Must be declared public, no problem. Let's go to our view. What's failing here? These mocks, we no longer need them. Instead, we're just going to initialize a state with a context, and the context is going to be a mocked context. Something is wrong here. Generic parent action cannot be inferred. Okay, I don't know what's going wrong here. Let me fix other places. Maybe this will help. Oh yeah, there's no one up here. Let's actually revert this to the comment. Now it's building. Also here, let me see what the preview now looks like. Do we have some data in there? In theory, we should have the mocked data in there. And if I remember correctly, the mocked data is basically the seed data. The preview agent crashed. Let's try again. All right, let me build this first. Now try again once it succeeds. Now let's try again. And why is my music off? Is my internet connection bad? At least my music connection is bad. Just reload the app. I'll try playing again. Alright, seems to work. I don't know what's going wrong here. Reason, key path category could not found in entity focus timer. All right, so we're having a problem with the typed categories, I think. Instead of doing it like this, let's also fetch this, like just very similar to how we fetch this here. So we're going to create a fetch request for a category this time. I'm just going to say the group, or whatever it's called. Let me look it up again in the model. So on category, it's called, yes, it's called group. A group is equal to the group. We're going to have, we're going to fetch this, and this is basically our result. Or should be. See if it builds now. Well, it was building before as well, but SwiftUI failed. The preview failed. Maybe the preview will work now. Okay, build's working. Let's see if the preview is also working. Nope. Keep a category not found in entity focus timer. Still the same thing. Where are we accessing category in focus timer? Not here. Do we have a dot category somewhere? Self.category groups, yeah. Self.category.id. Oh, okay, it's saying here, no category defined on focus timer. Okay, how do I fetch by a relation? Core data and its predicate relation. If that doesn't work, then just fetch the relationships. Core data, fetch relationships. I think we need to do an extra fetch for that. Okay, let me change the logic here. Instead of doing it like this and like this, I'm just going to say let categories in group be the group dot categories, and this is an NS set optional. Can say something like group fetch awake from fetch relation context of fetch. Yeah, I don't know if it's loading them all. I'm guessing not, but we will try. So this is just a set of categories. I'm just going to sort them. Let's just put them. Okay, let's sort them. Sort it by object ID. Set elements. This should be in managed object. Managed object managed, not a context. NS managed object. That's what I'm looking for. As NS managed object. And in here, yeah, this code is really ugly. I'm not liking it at all. But I want to know if it works, so let's continue. Same approach here. Just saying that focus timers of category be category dot focus timers, and then let's sort it as well. Oops, by object ID. Let's try to build. Yeah, build failed because for in loop with categories in group. and a set element. All right, how do I do the type categories thing? Group.categories typed group.typed categories. Let me look this up because this is the right code. I'm doing self categories as set of type category. I see, or empty array. In that case, actually, let me use that directly. Typed categories. And then maybe I can say sorted. Yeah, this works. I'll do the same for focus timers of a category. Category extension. How did I do it there? Oops. It's just public var like this. This is typed focus timers. Focus timers set. And then when you try to get this, I say self.focus timers as a set of focus timer or an empty array. And on set, I just say self.focus timers equals NSSet from the given set new value, right? Yes. It's built. Left side of nil cause has a non-optional. Oh, this is an optional here. All right, now we should be able to say here typed focus timers and sorted doesn't work because we have not made that comparable. Focus timer comparable. It's actually the exact same implementation. Oh no, it's not. Let's go by object ID or by start date. Started at, I believe, is the name of the field. Either started at or the current date. Just go with date.now. Okay, let's build again. This time we should have sorted available. So much weird code just to get a preview working. I hope it's going to work. Something has happened. We are getting some stuff here, so let me try something else. Let me try just specifying total time tracked equals 100. I'll just comment this out. Let's see what happens now. Let's wait for it to update. Okay, so we are seeing some values. We are seeing that this doesn't scale properly. So maybe we should provide something like a frame min height 300. That's better, maybe too much. All right, this is starting to look like something. But now we want to have actual values that do make sense in some way. Let's see what we find here. Okay, for some reason the numbers here are not calculating properly. I'm guessing there's a lot of nils involved. Or the running duration is not set in the mock. Is that possible? So let me go to database seeder. No, not here. Database seeder. There we go. We are creating categories. Oh, there's no focus timers in there yet. So we want to create some. How can we do that? Is this just for mock? No, not really. This is like the real data that we have at the start of the app. Okay, so we want to maybe, but we did have some mock context, so and it's managed object context extension. There we go. This is our mock, and after creating that data, I do want to add some more data into it. So I'm just going to create some extra data like focus timer. The context, I'm going to do that. 50 times make, or just times. I'm just going to create a focus timer with the context. That is at the top with a random start date, with a random category out of the existing ones, etc., etc. And random below 100, date.now, adding time interval minus hours. Let's go with hours. Closing the int, closing the double, closing the hours, closing the adding time interval. Categories. How do we get that? So we just seed it. Let's just fetch some categories. Or can we get some random ones here? Let categories equals context fetch category.fetch request. Like that. Then we have the categories, and I'm just going to choose one random category, random elements. Like that. Focus topic. Let's maybe go with, I don't know, text topic, number, and then a random value again. Timer runout duration. What was that? I really don't remember what this is. Oh, this is like 25 minutes. Ah, okay. Okay. I think this doesn't really matter. I'll just go with 25 minutes. And then we go to focus timer, ended at. How can we finalize a focus timer? Do we have like a function? Focus timer extension. It's not started, current progress, timer runout duration, typed progress points, play and pause, tick with the now date, running duration in seconds +1, and complete. Okay, we do have some two functions. How can we make it tick a lot? Complete with now date. All right. So it will automatically run out after 25 minutes. I just have to tick it a lot. So I'll do what, 25 minutes, 25 times 60, 1500 times focus timer dot tick. Now date is I think we can make it tick. Okay, this is really not a good implementation. I should reconsider implementation logic for focus timer because it's hard to create mocked testable state, yeah, of a finished one, basically. Because I don't know what to put here now. I'll just put data now. I don't really care what the logic here is. So I hope that this helps. Let's just go a little bit more. And we now have a focus timer and we want to store it. So let's just say context.save, but only at the end. Does that make sense? No idea. It must be unwrapped. I should try. Do we have some data now? No idea if this worked, but we'll see. Let me build and let me retry the previews. Oh yeah, it did work. So we do have some random data and it should also look different each time. Yeah, cool. Okay, so we're seeing all have the same color, which maybe we can improve. Also, I can't read all of the names. Maybe we don't need the full scale here and things like that. So we probably can adjust this these charts. And I learned in the SwiftUI session that I mentioned last time. So let me just open it again. This is really a cool one. Apple.com wwc. It's really important, I think, for like designing the right SwiftUI charts. Charts, not hello SwiftUI. Design and effective charts. This is the right one. And if you wanna, oh, come on, it's enough to ask me once. If you watch this video, you'll learn that they wanna basically us to provide like a title, like somewhere here. You can see. Here you can see they have like the title of the chart is total sales, and then they also have the most important number, which in this case is the sum of all of them in this time period. And they don't have these numbers in detail, and they don't always show all things here. This is just one thing, and we have several things. Again, I would love to have that as a pie chart. I don't know how useful it is to have it like this as a bar chart. Let me try a different chart. Maybe a different chart will look better. So we can use a bar chart. Oh, we can also do something like this. Chart splits the bars into different parts that represent a number of colors for each shape. How does this work? Bar chart, foreground, side, value, shape, color, shape, and color. Yeah, this is not bad. So in our case, that would mean we would have one for a day, for example, and then we could say how the split is for that day. That could also make sense. Or a week or something like that. Let's consider that actually. I will take a screenshot here. Go back to our document. Can't find it here. So we should consider a design like this, where the categories are shown per day or week or month in one bar. So that's one way of doing it, but I want to see what other kinds of charts we have, because we have a bar chart here. You can also use area chart, line chart, rectangle marks, rule mark, bar. So we have a bar mark. Let's switch to a line mark. Let's see what this will look like. I'll just try switching it like that. Does it work? Yeah, this does work, but that's not really helpful because this is like a trend overall, but this is not a trend. Like we have totally different things. So that doesn't make sense. What's a rectangle mark? Does this work? It seems to. But that's also not very helpful. Point mark. Yeah, they're all like for trends. Area mark, what's that? It's just a line, but filled. What's a rule mark? Alright, this doesn't compile. It seems like the API looks a bit different. I'll stick with the bar mark, which I think is the most useful one. And we might actually try this approach. Let me just search again. SwiftUI charts pie. Build pie chart in SwiftUI, not in SwiftUI, in Swift charts. Charts in SwiftUI, par chart. This is also not new. Let's go by last month. Search on Twitter actually. Not sure if I'm signed in on this account. I hope we can still search. Oh, I am signed in. So we want to know SwiftUI bar SwiftUI charts and pie. Let's go to latest. Charts library. All right, there is no pie chart. Let's stick with this this colored style like this. What's the difference between these two? Pyramid, cube, sphere, numbers, colors. Cube, pyramid, sphere. I don't understand the difference. Looks like this is just trying to customize things. But the main part is this foreground style. And then we can provide a value. That's also part of the data. Shape.count, shape.count. How does this work? So the total count is placed on shape.count. So they have like a shape type. There we go. It has a color, a type, and a count. All right, so then they say we want to show on x-axis the type, which is cube, on y-axis the count, which is the total count, and then they show the color as foreground style. How does it know that it has to color this with this value? Does it stack them on top of each other? This is like green cube count 2, green sweep. Ah, so it's green, green, green. Cube, sphere, pyramid. So it does the grouping for us. We just need to provide the raw data. That's interesting. So we can basically say, like put all our focus timers, and then we can just give their categories. And that's it. Basically, we just give the categories and the time. So we can actually create something very similar to this. Let's try that. But before we try, we have here our basic thing that is working. So let's commit that before we do any changes. So we have a state that we can revert back to. And I think I will keep those commented out logic. Although it was working, right? So we might not need them. Let's discard these lines. And the same here. All right, looking good. Here as well, and here. And we just have 3 minutes left, so probably next time we'll try that other approach. Get basic SwiftUI bar chart working with for time spent on categories. I think we just implemented categories, right? Yeah. Categories of different groups. And build script is no longer working because something is wrong here. Let me check that. Oh, it's thinking the build script is inside the open focus timer folder, which it's not. Does it work now? This is looking better, but now something else is failing. SwiftUI is saying number separated violation in as managed object context line 21. Oh, Xcode just crashed. That's nice. So NS managed object context extension. NS managed object line 21. Oh yeah. And I changed the order of the imports, which is fine as well. All right, so this is a small progress. Let's also document that. And we just have 1 minute left, so I'll be getting out there with a number, and instead I'm just going to write down what we're going to do next, and that is start implementing statistics. This is definitely something we have done. I'm starting implementing that statistic, and next we want to apply same approach as with toy shape here, which is the link, to our focus timers with color replaced by, so what is color here in our case is the category, categories, what is type here are the days, I would say. Type by day, week, time in general. And yeah, we got this. And count by the time tracked per focus timer. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to group all the focus timer and sum them up, but we'll try this out. I believe it will do that, or maybe we need to count them together ourselves. But anyways, this is what we have reached so far today. So let me run the app and see what the app looks like when we run it with real data, what our statistics screen will look like for now. And really, it's really unfortunate that we don't have pie charts, because pie chart will be perfect for this kind of thing that we're building here. And we have a build error. Let me fix that. So I need to provide the context here, which I can access through the environment. Do we have access to the environment in the state here? We shouldn't, to be honest. So we need to pass it along. So we have an NS managed object context here to pass along. And then to fail again. Let's import core data. And then in here we need to pass the context, to which we will just mock. Then in here we need to pass the context, which will be already available. Let's just pass it along. And that's it. This should build now. Let's run again to see the real data. Come on. All right, let's see what the statistics screen looks like in a real world app. And we do have some time worked on side project 1, which is 40 whatever. Is that minutes, hours? We don't know. Or time interval, it could be seconds as well. And we worked on design and paperwork. So kind of this already shows the split. I can see I work more on design than on paperwork. Maybe we don't actually need to do this, all this kind of thing. I'm actually inclined to say we don't need this. Instead, we need to add like title. Add a title to clarify the time range and give some context on y-axis, I would say. We want to know what this means. Is this minutes, hours, or whatever? I think it makes sense to highlight like the largest value, e.g. highlight the largest value by like X hours spent on Y. And this could help clarify what the y-axis means. The x-axis, I think we can also fix that. Fix x-axis cutting some names. However, we can fix that. I don't know yet. Maybe use different colors for different categories, or group use color of category. I think categories do have colors, right? And even icons. Maybe even use the icons instead of the names. So those are all things that we will think about next time. But this is basically, how can I show it here? This is basically what we have reached today. It's really hard to do that. So this is what we have reached today. and I hope that this is an interesting progress, and we're learning about the Swift charts library together. For example, I learned today that we don't have pie chart, and thank you for silly fish fly for following, and welcome to the stream. I hope it was a nice stream, but I'm leaving now, so I hope it was a nice stream. If you watch this on YouTube, don't forget to like this video right now. Everyone else on Twitch, please stay. I will check if we can rate somebody that is also doing development. And otherwise, I wish you all have a nice week, and I'll be back next week on Friday again around 3 p.m. Central European time. All right, so have a nice time. See you there. Bye.